Hi everyone. So today's we're going to talk about something that could quietly derail your journey, your weight loss journey. And like most of the things I talk about, it's not to do with discipline or lack of knowledge or anything like that. It's something we often don't pay any attention to, although we're aware of it, but we don't actually realize the consequence of it, and that's energy. Um, Specifically when we think we've got low levels of energy. So most people will interpret tiredness, fatigue, with something like, it could be a characteristic of yourself, like I'm lazy, I've got no willpower, I need to try harder. And then you question, why can't you just be consistent? But actually, what if energy isn't really a flaw, but information coming through to you? And what if you're misunderstanding that the information is one of the hidden reasons why you struggle with things like food choices, cravings, consistency? So that's what we're going to look at in this short webinar. So think about this, late afternoon, or maybe 8:30 when you're on the sofa and your energy's dropped. What happens? Well, for many people, they crave sugar. You want something quick, a quick fix. Uh, if it's late afternoon and evening, cooking feels like a lot of effort. Exercising and movement feels very unappealing. And things like scrolling seem much easier. And snacking is just automatic, just grabbing food. Now, you then behave in those kind of ways, and what then follows that is judgment. I've ruined today. I've got no willpower. Why am I like this? Why can't I be like other people? I need to be much stricter tomorrow, for example. So the mind very quickly turns this all into judgment about your character. But the thing is, the energy isn't a personality trait, it's a signal. And that's what people misunderstand. Low energy is rarely the real problem. More often than not, it's a message from upstream. And your energies dip for a reason. So sometimes your body genuinely needs rest. It needs hydration or better fuel or protein or some other micronutrients. Um, it might need movement to stimulate circulation. Um, but sometimes, and this is a very subtle one, it actually needs less mental pressure. Now, I was speaking to someone last night about this, and what many people misunderstand is that we're a whole system. Everything fits together. So when we feel physically fatigued, it actually might be down to mental fatigue. And people that are on a weight loss journey are carrying far more cognitive thinking load than they realize. And, we underestimate when we're focused on things like counting calories, um, being self-critical, comparing ourselves to others, where we have this all or nothing approach, driving to make it happen, or we're worrying about the future, or we're replaying our mistakes. That is all mental noise that's going on, and it's exhausting. And that exhaustion can drive short-term choices. See, when the system is under strain, it's looking for relief. So the mind tries to protect you, tries to go, oh, okay, this is what's happening at this moment in time. We'll come up with something like sugar, um, a quick dopamine fix, Get out of this scrolling. You know, scrolling is just another example of checking out of the cognitive overload that you're going through. And nothing is about from these things. It's about being weak, but it's more about your nervous system wanting to ease, wanting to step back. So instead of asking the question, what's wrong with me? A more useful question in that moment is, what might I need right now? Now, an example of this is a client of mine that when she experienced what she used to refer to as the danger zone, and the danger zone for her was 4:30 to 5 o'clock in the evening, where she thought she'd hit a wall. She seemed to do this regularly. Now think about that. That's a habit. If something's regular, if something's occurring regularly, that's a habit. It's in your psychology. It's a neurological pathway. So her old pattern was how she responded to it was, I'm going to push through this, or I'm going to ignore it, or I'm going to white knuckle it, and I'm then going to overeat in the evening. But instead of fighting as she would do normally, she tried something different and she asked that question: what actually do I need here? Very simple question. And what surprised her was some simple things would come up, like a large glass of water, or a protein snack, or a 10-minute walk outside to clear a head, to stop working earlier, those kind of things. And so when she began to respond to the question, what surprised her was her craving softened. When she listened sooner to what was going on, really going on for her, and not on automatic pilot, she didn't fall off track. But here's the thing, nothing magical happened. She just stopped fighting the signal. So in Light Minds, in the program, what you often hear me talking about, raise your consciousness, raise your awareness. You have signals going on all the time. And when you become familiar with them, you'll be surprised what happens. You'll actually stop fighting yourself and you'll make very different choices. Now, these signals are really important. I think I mentioned this on the course, but one of the metaphors I use is it's like driving a car, looking at your fuel gauge. Now, your fuel gauge tells you one thing, just how much fuel you've got in the car. So when the light comes on, that's what it's telling you. Now, we have the same kind of thing. We have these warning lights, and those feelings, they're not criticizing you. It's not saying anything about who you are. You're not useless. You shouldn't have had to plan better. All it's saying is something at this point needs some attention. Now, if you ignore the warning light in your car, you run out of fuel. But if you respond appropriately, you keep moving, but you move smoothly. And your energy will work in the same kind of way. Low energy is not proving anything about who you are about or what's happening in on your weight loss journey. It's just a sign that something needs adjusting. That's really powerful. You see, curiosity restores the balance of what's going on within you far faster than force ever would. Now, by force, I mean effort, where you push through, be better, don't give up, be stricter. Now, you'll notice when you're in that, very simply, because physically you'll experience tension. And that's another way of draining energy. So you're in this loop, you're going, oh, I need something, I need to do something. And that then, and what you're choosing to do will cause more tension, which will cause more energy to leak out of you. Whereas curiosity asks questions. What might I need right now? Is this physical? Is it emotional? Is it mental? Am I really hungry or is this dehydration? Is it really fatigue or pressure? And what happens with curiosity? Your awareness, your consciousness rises. And as you rise, you see things from a different perspective because you get a better picture. And what then happens is you feel lighter. And as you feel lighter, you make better choices. So this is like rather than fighting with your system, you're actually working with your system. Now, fighting your system is exhausting. Working with your system is the thing that builds momentum. So on most of these videos, I mention a simple practice, and the simple practice, if you go back and look at them, or you might have already picked it up, it's always very similar. See, when your energy dips, and it always will for everybody, before you react automatically, pause. You don't have to judge yourself, don't have to reach for food, just pause. What might I need right now? What's needed? Now, what you don't need to do is you don't need to analyze that. Just ask the question and wait. Something might pop up for you. It might be about water. It might be protein. It might be fresh air. It might be stretching. It might be a proper meal. It might be, oh, you're having too many late nights. Those kind of things all come up. So when you meet the real need early, what you might be surprised at is the cravings slow down. That's the key. When you respond early, everything shifts for you. See, energy is information. It's not judgment. It's not failure. It's not weakness. It's just guidance. So if you start seeing tiredness, fatigue as data rather than drama, you'll respond more intelligently. And then as you respond more intelligently, uh, the weight loss journey becomes much steadier. And it's not because you're trying harder, it's because you're listening to yourself much sooner. So just as you go about the week, try and notice your energy dips. Pause. What might I need right now? And see what changes. And I've no idea, by the way. I've no idea what will come up. And that doesn't matter. Just see what comes up for you. Thanks very much.